And welcome back to Capital Talk. What a treat it is to have Nobel laureate Leyham Gbowee, folks, from Liberia here in town. She's here at the request of some friends of hers whom she worked with who are into conflict resolution and peace building. She wanted to lend a helping hand. That's what she does, folks, humble as they come. Despite winning a Nobel Peace Prize at the age of 39, she is now 40 and literally embarking on a new chapter, new phase in her life, giving back, helping back. She has her own foundation, Gbowee Peace Foundation in Liberia and yes, in the diaspora. She's written a book, folks. I wish we have it in time. I think we do. Go to Yaya Center, go to the second floor, bookstop, talk to Chand. The book is entitled Mighty
Be Our Powers.
Mighty Be Our Powers. 2 words, folks. Sit back. The book came out before the Nobel, didn't it?
September.
So, and then you were on a book tour. It was part of the book tour.
It was part of, as a matter of fact, I had gone to a meeting with Len Reggio. He's the owner of, is it Barnes and Nobles?
One of those big publishers.
One of those big publishing company. And Len had read the first published version of the book, and he said he wanted to meet with me. So we had this meeting at his office. Len, a very nice man, a huge supporter of civil rights activism. And then he looked at me and said, Lima, what do you want from this book? Do you want money for your organization? Because I have another organization I co-founded with 2 other colleagues based in Accra. It's the Women, Peace and Security Network Africa. Do you want money for your organization, or what do you want? And I said to him, Len, when I wrote this book, I felt like my story is an inspirational story that will empower people after they've been inspired. I want the story to go out. And he said, you know, now usually people don't pay for book tours, but I'm going to pay for your book tour. Just like that, we got full funding from Len personally for me to do to do East and West Coast book tour in the U.S.
How's the book doing now?
I can say very well, because the book has been translated into Italian. It has been translated into Australian. It has a Spanish version, a German version. And in October, I'm going to France to launch the French version.
Oh my.
Yes.
And your foundation, the Gbowee Peace Foundation, you are helping young women and men out there, aren't you?
Definitely. You know, when in my previous, I tell people in my previous life, in my life, I've done different kinds of peace building, working with women, going into communities. And what I've seen in some of those communities is that whilst we have very strong and powerful women, these women have gotten to the place where they're enjoying their powers that they've forgotten about the young girls. So in a lot of these communities, you find girls who are not really inspired to go to school. Teenage pregnancy has taken over, different things. So the foundation, and then we started doing leadership work with some of these girls in some of the communities in Liberia, Sierra Leone, Ghana. We realized that as you talk to them, work with them, they have a new found inspiration to go to finish high school and go to college. What I found in Liberia with a lot of the girls that we've been working with over the last 5 years was that they would come from their villages, being the only one in their family daring to go to college. And then at the end of the day, that desire to go to college turned into the impetus for them to be prostitutes. Because they don't have the money to finish the school, they don't have the money to go to college. So some older man or someone say, come to my office, and the next thing you know, they have this sugar daddy, and instead of going to school, they become pregnant. So we started the foundation to fill in that gap. I don't believe in disconnected work. I believe in the work having linkages here, there. So you have the women, you have the girls in the community. How do we provide scholarships? We launched the foundation as a 40th birthday party. And I also believe in the power of local resource mobilization. So instead of going to my friends in the US and exploiting the Nobel thing, we had this dinner and invited Liberians, including the president of Liberia, to come. We're launching the foundation, launching the scholarship fund. At that launch, we got over 25 full 4-year scholarship from Liberians, and we raised over $30,000 amongst a group of 75 individuals.
Wow. And this year you're sending how many girls out?
This year we have 19 going to colleges, and we have 4 doing graduate certificates in the US. We've added high schools. The reason we've added high schools is because we found that in some of the communities that we work, some of these girls beat all of the odds against them, not getting pregnant and breaking some of the records of passing 5th grades in their community. So we're sending them to boarding school, offering them 7-year scholarship for high school, books. For the secondary school, we do books, shoes, socks, uniform, everything, including supplies. For college, all you have to do is give us the grades. We pay your fees, we buy your books, we do everything. The only niche there is that during your vacation, like now we have our students on vacation, they are all required to go to their villages to give back, and we pay them for going back into their villages. So for example, those who are doing nursing go into their village and serve in the local clinics. We pay them $100 a month. Besides transportation, we find lodgings for them. Those who are doing agriculture go back to their villages and work with women agriculture and women farmers. So we do this because we don't want first people to start thinking that it's free. That's one. 2, we want you to constantly have a link with your community to know that these are the challenges and I need to excel to change the trend in my community. In December this year, we're going to launch something we're calling Allies for the Future. We're bringing boys into our scholarship program. And we're asking men, good men, to come and mentor these boys as we provide scholarships for them to go to college.
And that is very important because there are still a lot of former child soldiers out there, aren't there?
Oh yes, and you do not really, if you look at Liberia now, we are at a stage where we are really trying to come to rehabilitation, reconstruction, but then you have this thing of prioritizing your priorities. And if they ask you, Jeff, in a situation of conflict, prioritize your priorities, child soldiers will be the last priority for you. Because again, it is seen as these are the people who destroy, so they can wait. Let's work with those or those issues that are pending right now. So bringing these boys into it will help us to bridge some of the divide. We have a university in the US who is currently trying to partner with us. Instead of taking students to the US, they want to give us funding to send children of child soldiers to school.
So when people look at Liberia, and a lot of critics have said it'll take another 100 years to rebuild, you see a lot of hope there, don't you? You see it every day.
Every day you wake up, you see hope. The one thing that you want to say, that I can say is that just provide that space. You see someone looking hopeless, it's like a plant. All they need is a little bit of watering. One of my favorite stories is this child soldier who I've